Welcome to this week's episode of This Week at Endicott. I'm Brianna Marr.
And I'm Matt Layton. Let's find out what's happening this week on campus.
Stop by the chapel for a meditation group to find your Zen on Wednesday at 12:30 p.m.
Then ECA presents community cupcakes at 4 p.m. Stop by Lower Callahan to hang out, decorate a cupcake, and celebrate your personal diversity.
Then at 5 p.m. there will be a bus taking students to a Red Sox game at 5 p.m. Tickets are $25 and can be purchased through your Blue Buzz email.
At 6 p.m., the EC Community Spring Celebration kicks off with student organizations hosting crafts and activities for families in the Fieldhouse. Does your club want to get involved? Check out the Blue Buzz for more details.
Stop by the Wax Auditorium at 6 p.m. for Dose of Reality, an opioid abuse panel with speakers Mike Duggan, Stephen Pyro, Pierce Aliberti, Brian Mannion, and Chief Charlie Femino. Later
that night, there's an open mic and karaoke night happening in Lower Callahan. Stop by at 8 p.m. to join the fun.
Now let's take it to sports with Matt Pritchard.
Hello and welcome to this week's edition of EC Sports. For EC TV, I'm Matt Pritchard. The men's volleyball team will be the top seed heading into the NECC tournament. This past week, Player of the Week Ryan Sutherland led the Gulls to a win over Regis, while the Gulls dropped an earlier game to number 9 New York University. The Gulls will be in action Thursday in the NECC semifinal, and if they win, will move on to host the championship on Saturday. The men's lacrosse team went 2-0 on the week with wins versus Nichols and Western New England. Offensive Player of the Week Will Jennings and Specialist of the Week Tommy Hughes will look to lead the Gulls to another win this week versus Curry on Saturday. Offensive Player of the Week Emily Whitney and Rookie of the Week Jennifer LaCroix had the women's lacrosse team picking up 2 wins versus Nichols and Western New England. They'll look to continue that streak as they host Emerson for Senior Day on Saturday. The baseball team went 3-2 on the week as they improved to 11-9 overall. They will travel to Salem State before having doubleheaders versus Wentworth on Friday and Wesleyan on Saturday. The softball team went 2-8 on the week as they dropped to 6-12 overall. They will look to get back on the winning side of things with doubleheaders versus Gordon, Curry, and Nichols all within the week. The men's tennis team split matches this past week. They first swept Salve Regina before dropping their next game to Roger Williams. They'll be back in action Thursday and Friday as they host UMass Boston and Curry. That'll do it for this week in EC Sports. For EC TV, I'm Matt Pritchard. Get out and support your Gulls.
On Thursday, ECA is hosting their Day of Silence in honor of those who have been impacted by LGBTQ+ suicide. If you'd like to participate, pick up a Day of Silence packet in Lower Callahan for more information.
From 10 to noon on Thursday, keep an eye out for the Class Cab, a golf cart full of student alumni organization members. They'll give you a ride to class or to your dorm, all while asking you about Endicott trivia. You may even be able to win candy or prizes if you answer correctly.
At 6 p.m., head over to the Rose Performance Hall for the Intercollegiate Jazz Festival with the Casry Jackson Trio.
Love to tie-dye? I know I do. Stop by Lower Callahan at 8 p.m. for the Spring Tie-Dye event.
Then at 8:30 p.m. on Friday, tune into WGBH to watch our very own Endicott singers perform in Sing That Thing.
This past week, WCVB anchor Maria Stefanos visited Endicott College and talked with some communication students about her career path. Our own Brooke O'Leary had a chance to talk with Ms. Stefanos.
Hi, I'm Brooke O'Leary for ECTV. Today I'm here with Maria Stefanos. Could you tell me a little bit about what you talked about today when you came to Endicott?
I never stopped talking. I can't even remember. I just went on and on and on. I just talked about how I started out in this business, and I remember being a college student, and then where I went from there, and what it is I do now. And great audience, great kids, good, smart questions.
Could you give me a little bit about your path of what got you here today?
Here at Endicott?
To your career path.
Sure. So I love news. I was always curious about news, and I was always passionate about it. And I like to talk, and I like to ask questions. So it was sort of inevitable that I came into this business. And I just found myself drawn to this, and I never let it go, which I'm glad I didn't.
Excellent, exactly. Got you to a good place.
For now, yeah.
Do you have any advice for, this is my dream job, and I'm really nervous right now. But
you don't seem nervous, which is
okay,
good.
Good. But any other future anchor that wants to get into the field, maybe the one main piece of advice that you would give them?
Yes, listen. Listen to what people are saying, and then don't be afraid to interrupt. I know that seems strange to say, but if you're listening and something hits you, go right back at that person in a kind way, but make sure that it's a conversation. This is not, hello everybody, I'm Maria Stefanos, and right now I'm going to be interviewing you. You know what I'm saying? And you weren't doing that. I'm just saying that doing this and being like this and then handing this back to you and saying, here you go, don't be afraid of anything or to ask anything.
Okay. Yeah, I remember you saying with Big Papi when you were talking to him, you made it really conversational and you talked about food and everything. So
Right.
just
Something that nobody else talked to him about because nobody really cared, but I made them care because I thought it was really interesting.
And then you're building that rapport and they're opening up more and everything.
And they're more comfortable. That's everything. So if you come in with scripted questions, if you come into life scripted, then you're going to live your life scripted. And that's not fun. No, ad-libbing is a lot of fun. Ad-libbing is everything, I think.
Great. All right, well, that's all I have for you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Former MTV life coach and now motivational speaker Jeff Yalden visited Endicott a few weeks ago. I had the chance to catch up with him. Let's take a look at what he had to say. Mental health, relationships, and self-esteem are just a few topics students heard during guest speaker Jeff Yalden's visit to Endicott. Yalden, a former MTV life coach, hosted a discussion called Real Talk for Real Men, focused on talking to men about being authentic and real with themselves.
It was just honest talk. It was real talk. A little bit of humor. I think they liked that. They didn't fall asleep.
Dozens of men and some women filled the audience to hear Yalden's story about overcoming his own adversities and how one can learn from these difficult situations.
When you're real with your audience, they get more out of it.
One student said learning about being happy with yourself and being kind to others was a big takeaway.
Being able to answer 3 questions, is your life meaningful every day? And if not, make a change. And it's very straightforward and it's an easy concept to understand, so I think it's easy to follow through with.
And although the event was geared towards men, some women learned about how to connect better with friends and loved ones.
Well, just because I'm not a male, there's males in my life. I have a brother, I have a dad, I have guy friends, and so it's important to know what affects them as well as myself and how I can strengthen my relationships with males in my life.
Jeff continues to travel the country and hopes to keep the conversation about men ongoing.
I think the topic is pretty awesome. I think it's something that we do need to talk about more.
To learn about Jeff and some of his other motivational talks, visit his website, jeffyalden.com. I'm Matt Layton reporting.
I had a chance to sit down with Nora Poggi, director and producer of the film She Started It. Let's take a look. Hi, I'm Brianna Marr, and I'm here with Nora Poggi, who's the director and producer of the film She Started It. Hi, Nora, how you doing?
Hi, I'm great, thank you.
Could you tell us a little bit about yourself and your film?
Yes, so I'm French, born and raised in Paris. I've been in the US for 5 years, San Francisco. I just moved to Brooklyn.
Nice.
And I was working as a journalist covering the tech industry in Silicon Valley in 2013 when I started working on the documentary with my co-founder in CSA. And we were both working as journalists and film production on the side. So, yeah.
Nice. And what's the message that the film tries to promote to the viewers?
So the documentary is called She Started It. It follows 5 young women for 2 years over all the startup journey, so through the ups and downs of what it takes to build a startup. Mm-hmm. So you see them fundraising, pitching, team members leaving and going, family stuff, everything, all the behind the scenes of, imagine Shark Tank behind the scenes. And the film is really about the grit, resilience, and persistence that it takes to create anything. And the goal was to show how important it is to get back up and never give up and highlight women role models to inspire the next generation.
Yeah, and what would you say to maybe women who are interested in the tech industry, or maybe they're nervous or unsure about where to start? What advice would you give?
So the first thing is to start, because same with the film, I was not, it was my first movie, and Stacey Ferreira, who's one of the young women profiled in the film, she has this great quote that's, start somewhere, start today. So whatever it is you're doing, you're always going to have excuses why you shouldn't start today. Mm-hmm. And you should just take the first step of whatever it is that you can do to make it happen, whether it's, opening up the website or, creating a name, finding a name, just getting that first step out the door.
Mm-hmm. And for people who are interested in seeing the film, who might not be on campus or maybe can't attend tonight, where can they find the film?
Well, they can't, so they should come tonight. Right now, the film is only going through special screenings at universities, corporations, conferences, groups, whatever. We're touring all over the world, so it's great. Nice. And then we're hopefully going to be online within the next year. But right now, she started at film.com to host the screening, or tonight on campus.
So check us out on campus or stay tuned for when they post it online. Thanks, Nora.
Thank you so much.
Now back to the desk.
There'll be no classes on Monday in observance of the Patriots' Day holiday here in Massachusetts, so enjoy the long weekend, and if you celebrate Easter, have a great Easter.
Starting Tuesday, CAB presents Spring Week. Don't miss out on great events like Field Day, the Regatta, Mr. Endicott Bingo Blowout, and much more.
Also on Tuesday at 6 p.m. in the LSB Auditorium, Pat Crowley, entrepreneur and CEO of Chatpul LLC, will be giving a talk on ancient protein for a healthy future.
And that's all we have this week.
Thanks for joining us, and make sure to tune in next time.